Merry, Merry Christmas. Merry, 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 Merry Christmas. Hello, 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 hello. Merry Christmas.
Well, that's very nice, Hank.
Yeah, that's my Merry, Merry Christmas. Hello, 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 Merry, Merry Christmas.
Okay, I get the point. It's your mic test of Merry, Merry Christmas. Hello, hello.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Well, you kind of, anyways. It is Christmas. Hank, I'm feeling the pressure here.
What do you pressure? What does that mean? Because I'm sitting on you?
No, get off. Stop that. No, because I went back and I listened to episode 9 of this. This was a long time ago in a studio far, far away. Back when I started the James Arnold Taylor podcast, and it was the 9th episode, and it was the Christmas episode. It was 2018. That was a long time ago, Hank.
Yeah, that was, you weren't even in this studio that I built.
You didn't build this, I built this.
Whatever.
You're right, I wasn't. We lived in California. We no longer live in California. And I was just starting out in podcasting, and I went kind of to the roof, man, to the moon. I went all full bore. And I mean, if you all get a chance, if you're looking for something to listen to this Christmas, go back and listen to episode 9 of the James Arnold Taylor podcast. It's the Christmas special. It's really great. I don't know how I can top it. I don't know how I can top it as far as all the Christmas things and all of that. So instead, what I want to do, I'm going to take some of your comments this time, and I'm going to just tell you some Christmas stories, and we'll talk to some of my characters. Maybe we'll call some of them, Guinevere or Franklin or some of them like I did back in the day. But so I don't know, Hank, what do we do?
Well, you get Mr. Announcer guy in to come in and do the legal intro jumbo.
Well, you know what we did on the last one is we had Mr. Announcer Guy's older brother, Charlton, who does the kind of Christmassy sound stuff. Should we do that again?
Yeah, why not? You do the whole, alumni thing.
It's not an alumni thing. That's whatever. Hey, Mr. Announcer Guy and Mr. Announcer Guy's brother, Charlton!
Yeah, man. Merry Christmas, James.
Well, Merry Christmas, Mr. Announcer Guy. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
Awesome. So, and Mr. Charlton, Mr. Announcer Guy Charlton, Mr. Announcer Guy's older brother. I've totally messed that up. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm doing just fine, James. How are you?
Oh, see, you've got that Christmas sound to you. Do you mind doing the intro like we did before? It's kind of now it's a tradition.
That's what I said, a tradition is.
No, you said alumni, and that makes no sense.
Whatever. Why, sure, James. Go ahead and cue that Christmas music, Jerry the Music Man.
You got it, Mr. Announcer Guy's brother, Charlton.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's the James Arnold Taylor Podcast, Christmas Special 2024.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, man, he's good. Now, here he is spreading Christmas joy, the same guy that's doing all the voices you're hearing, including this one, James Arnold Taylor.
Oh, see, it's so sweet when you do it. It's all nice. And listen to the little Christmas music that Jerry the Music Man. Thank you, Charlton. Merry Christmas to you, my friend.
You got it, James. I'm gonna go now. Yeah, man, me too.
Okay, see you guys. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. It is the James Arnold Taylor Christmas special. Here's why it's special for me personally. It's Tuesday, December 17th when I'm recording this. Christmas, of course, you're going to hear this a couple days before Christmas, or like the 22nd or 20, like just before Christmas Eve, you're going to hear this because Christmas is on Wednesday and this comes out Monday. So yeah. So anyways, very special. Here's why it's special to me. So for many, many years, I worked in radio, as we talked about. If you listen, by the way, thank you all that listened to the last 2 episodes that were my special ones with my lovely wife, Allison. And thank you all for the wonderful comments. I'm going to read some of the comments on the YouTube from the last couple of episodes today on the show because you all said some wonderful things about Allison, and her and I sat today. So here's what we do. In the morning, we get up, we do our thing. I pray, you brush your teeth, you do all that stuff. And then we sit at our kitchen table, our dining room table, and we chat. That's kind of our normal thing. We pray a little, we chat, we, get to, what are you doing today? Okay, this is what I'm doing, here we go. And I pulled up the YouTube because that's where you all can comment nowadays. We don't have the emails anymore. I'm sorry we don't have the emails. Maybe we'll bring them back at some point. It's just, it got overwhelming. But anyways, okay. So I read the comments on YouTube of people commenting about what they thought. So if you listen to this show somewhere else, go on YouTube and make a comment on the episode and then tell me where you listen to it on. You know, if it's Good Pods or iTunes or I don't know, Spotify or wherever you listen to the podcast. So I know, because I have no idea how many people listen to this show. I think it's several thousand, and it would be wonderful if we could get it out there more. But anyways, so the one place you can comment is on my YouTube channel where it plays on there as well. So go ahead and make your comments there, and I'll read some of those today later on in the special. But here's why it's so special to me, because when I was younger, as we talked about on the episodes with Allison, I worked in radio. And when I worked in radio, I did radio comedy. And when we did these things, I was always a couple weeks ahead. So whenever I had to do Christmas specials or anything Christmassy, I was doing it in like November. I was like months ahead. It's just like when you watch these Hallmark movies or the Great American Family Channel, the Christmas ones. Like the Little Women's Christmas that I was in. By the way, if you haven't seen A Little Women's Christmas, it's on the Great American Family Channel, and you can check that out. I play their dad, and I have a very brief cameo in the movie, but it's a lot of fun, and a lot of people have said, oh, it's so cool to see you in that. But when we shot that in the summertime, so it was like June or July, so it was really hot where we live, and they shot it out here in Tennessee, and so it was amazing because then everybody's all bundled up looking like they're cold, and it's 100 degrees out. So you're always in show business, you never really get to celebrate Christmas at Christmas time because you're recording things months in advance, weeks in advance, sometimes a year in advance. And so it's always off. What I love about this is I have been really feeling the Christmas spirit this year. It's been really wonderful. And it's December 17th right now when I'm recording this. So it is Christmas. Downstairs right now, Allison is working on things and she's listening to Christmas music. The tree is up and all of that. My daughter went to work and she's got her little Christmas tree in her room, and she's got her little soldiers out that she places in front of the door of her room and stuff that are the little, toy soldiers and things. One's a kind of like a teddy bear head on a toy soldier. It's very cute. But that's when those things are out, we know it's Christmas. So this is great that I'm recording a Christmas special during Christmas. So Merry Christmas from James Arnold Taylor. Welcome to the James Arnold Taylor podcast. I should bring in, hey, Billy.
Oh, yes, Mr. Christmas James, St. Nick James, sing James a lot.
Okay, thank you. How are you? Merry Christmas, Billy.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Mr. James, sir.
Thank you. Do you have Christmas plans? Do you go, away for Christmas or anything?
Well, no, Mr. James. My whole family is here, and then we'll all see each other, and then we'll do that. And you're welcome to come over to the house and celebrate Christmas with us if you'd like.
Well, that's very nice. Maybe my lovely wife Allison and I will make a trip out to your place and say hello to everybody. Now, Bob, who reads the emails here, Bob, he's your uncle. It's always funny. If you're British, you get why that's funny. Bob's your uncle. That's funny.
Oh, yeah, no, I think that's hysterical, Mr. James, if I only understood it.
Okay. So is there anything you want for Christmas this year, Billy?
Oh, no, just peace, love, and joy, and good tidings for all people.
Well, that's very nice. But is there some kind of like toy or cool thing or something that you want?
Maybe an autographed picture by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Really? Oh, I think we can manage that. Yeah. Hey, Hank.
What?
Get me one of those pictures of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'll autograph it for Billy.
Oh, my goodness, you'll autograph that for me right now?
Billy, I think I've autographed these things for you before, haven't I?
Well, yes, Mr. James, you have, but it's always special when you do it.
Okay.
There you go, right there.
No, Hank, you drew a mustache on the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No, he's got a mustache. He's got a beard and a mustache.
Yes, but you drew a little curly Q mustache over it on that. That's not funny. And a little goatee.
I think it's pretty funny.
No, that will make it even more special then, Mr. James, sir.
Okay, well then let me sign that for you then. Okay, so to Billy from Mr. JAT, sir.
No, that's very funny, sir.
Yeah, okay. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and may God bless you very much. Thank you for all you do for the JATcast. Oh, Billy, don't cry.
But it's so nice and beautiful and special.
Okay, James Arnold Taylor.
That's a messy signature.
You know what, Hank? It's the signature that I do. And you can see the J and the A and the T, and then the rest is kind of a scribble, but that's what it is.
I think it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Well, thank you, Billy.
I'm going to go hang it now in my office.
I didn't know he had an office here.
He doesn't. He's using yours.
Okay. Well, great. Okay. Hank, what about you? Is there anything? What do you want for Christmas?
All I want for Christmas is you. Right.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anything that you want?
Yeah, I want to be able to test your microphone. Hello, 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 hello.
Okay, stop it.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Hank. Thanks. Okay, it is a special time of year, isn't it? Christmas time? Do you feel it? I don't know. Look, the thing is everybody celebrates, they buy stuff. And I think that's wonderful, but I really think, now I'm sure I've shared this before, but what we do here at the James Arnold Taylor House is, well, we don't call it the James Arnold Taylor, the Taylor House, is, first we drink some water. Have we not had any? Oh my goodness.
It's time to drink some Christmas water.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Announcer. That's good water. That's good Christmas water, but it's not frosty. And if you go back and listen to the episode 9 of the James Arnold Taylor Podcast Christmas Special, you'll know what I mean when I drink the water, because the elf Arthur drank the snowman frosty. Okay, it was funny. It was funny, and if you listen and you've known, that was a funny one. But anyways, okay. So, yeah, man, good Christmas water. Make sure you're hydrated all through the season. That's another thing. See, because people eat and drink and be merry, but you got to make sure you're drinking your water, eating some healthy foods. Don't overdo it. I know this is the time of year everybody overdoes it. But then you make the New Year's resolutions, and then you go, oh, well, I got to lose some weight now because now, here's something. Just try. We have a beautiful, wonderful spread of great food, healthy stuff here at the James Arnold Taylor House. I did it again. The Taylor House, the James Arnold Taylor Podcast. But so what we do is we write letters to each other every year, and then we place them on the tree. And we place them on the tree at Christmas Eve. And then in the morning, we all read our letters to each other. So I write a letter to Allison, and I write a letter to Lydia, and Lydia writes a letter to me and to her mom. And Allison writes a letter to Lydia and to me. And then we all sit and we read all the letters, and then we keep them. And we all have, a little special box that we keep them in for all the years, and we get to read these things, kind of recapping what happened in the year and why we're important and special to each other and why we love each other and what Christmas means to us, all those things. And it's very special. And then I kind of decorate, I'm an artist, so I draw things like I draw Snoopy on the envelopes for the girls and for their letters and stuff, and I put their names on it. And it's very fun and special. And so we do that. We'll be doing that soon enough here. I haven't written my letters yet this year, but I will write them very soon. And the girls will write theirs, and it'll be a great time. And so it's things like that. Rather than just, I have to get this gift, I have to buy this, because quite frankly, we all have everything, and even what I mean by that is we all have access to whatever we need. Like if you're listening to the show, you're listening on a computer or on an iPhone or on a smartphone of some, or a device of some type, and you have internet and you have these abilities to have this stuff. We have so much. We're so blessed and fortunate. So what you can really give yourself for Christmas is, and others, is gratitude. Tell them how much you love them. Tell them how much you're grateful for them. Gratitude is a beautiful, wonderful thing, and we need to show God that gratitude as well. That's my belief, again, as a Christian. And again, with thanks to all of you that are not Christians that listen to this James Arnold Taylor podcast, because it's morphing more so into that, where I talk more about my faith here. And, I may try to pursue some avenues where I get to maybe, get it out on a Christian podcast service or something. I don't know. That'd be great. But, or just out on a podcast service. I don't know. See, the thing is if I try to just get it on a regular podcast service, they'll say, oh, you're too Christian. And then they'll want it to be on a Christian one. But then if I put it just on a Christian one, then people that aren't Christian may not want to listen to it, because then they're like, well, I just don't want to listen to a Christian podcast. So I just try to just do my thing. But anyways, there you go. Just before I started this episode, I got a call on my phone from the chosen one, Matt Lanter. And that was very nice. And he was thinking of me. He's driving back home from one of his homes to another home. And because he has two homes, because, he's a big fancy actor. And I give him a bad time about that. And he was calling me to tell me that podcasts, if they're monetized, will count to the Screen Actors Guild insurance funds and all of that stuff. And that's very cool. And so, I don't monetize this podcast really. I don't do anything. But maybe, he was like, hey, maybe you should consider getting some sponsors and all that. I don't ever want to bug all of you with sponsorships where you have to listen, because I do listen to other podcasts and there's commercials. And I got to be honest, a lot of times I fast forward through the commercials. I do, because you got that little button and it's 15-second jumps or 30-second jumps and stuff. And, but if I did commercials on mine, I think I would do them where I actually do them live. And then you get it, hopefully, I do some voices and I have fun, and then you kind of listen through them. And then maybe, just maybe, you're inspired by the products and things like that. So I don't know if I'll ever have sponsors on this show. But if I did, I hope you all wouldn't mind. It's a way to pay the bills and to make it possible for me to do the show every week. Because if I made a little bit on it, then, and I say this all the time. But anyway, so it was very nice of Matt. He was thinking of me. And so there you go. See, that's how it works. We're a big family. We just got back, actually. I don't know if I've talked about this. No, because we had done the other shows. So we just got back from our last Comic-Con of the year, and that was Pittsburgh, Steel City Con. Hey, before I go on, let's take some big deep breaths. I'm finding that I'm talking so fast. I'm okay. Let's breathe. Let's breathe in. Let's drink our water. Let's relax. Let's resettle, James. I know you're excited. It's a Christmas episode and all of that, but let's resettle. Everybody, let's take a big deep breath in, and then hold it, and then out. Ready? We breathe in for 4. We hold for 7. We breathe out for 8. Ready? Here we go. Let's do one more of those. I will admit I kind of went a little faster on the 7-second hold, but just because it's dead air otherwise. Just breathe, and you can just keep doing those breathings while you're listening. We all just need to slow down. It's the holiday season. We need to breathe. We need to slow down. We need to drink some water. We need to hydrate. We need to stay healthy. We need to think positive. We need to be grateful. Why? We need to be mindful. Why? Because that's how we get through. I just feel like I need to kind of do a reset with all of us on the show, because so often I am go, 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 go. And I've been auditioning on some projects this morning that were kind of cool projects. Hopefully I'll get to book one of them, and then maybe I'll talk about it if I book it, obviously. And then I was doing the final song. I work on a show I talked about called The Garden, and I play Lenny the Lion. It was created by my friend Butch Hartman. It's a beautiful show. It's a Christian show. It's for preschoolers and toddlers learning the Bible and Bible verses and goodness and mercy. And there's a song in every episode. Butch writes a song every episode, and Jacob, the composer, does an amazing job making all the music. And so I sang song 40, the 40th song. Isn't that amazing? Today. So I was singing a song about Jesus, which is great. And then, and I made a little video of me dancing around in the studio doing it. So maybe I'll give that to them and they can put it out. And then I was doing these auditions, and then I was running around. I was making food for the breakfast for my wife and I. And then I was doing emails and catching up on things and talking to the chosen one on the phone and running around doing these things. And yesterday I was running around with my friend Matthew Buds, and we were doing stuff here in my studio, getting the lighting and the cameras right for doing live streams for y'all and all of that. And you know what? Breathe, James. Okay, let's get to some goofy fun stuff. It's Christmas special. Let's go to the YouTubes and let's see. Let's read some of the... So the last one that aired was season 4, episode 23. I'm going to go to the comments on that one first, because there were some comments that were pretty cool. Well, Duchess Cosplay. Hello, Duchess. Hello, my dear Duchess. Yes. Duchess Cosplay says, I really do hope Allison Taylor returns to the podcast again soon. I do very much like the ones filled with characters and jokes too. Those are the things that brought me considerable happiness as a child. Yet these 2 episodes have brought me joy, especially as a young person who's married and has received some judgment for that. And she puts, it's strange to not want to date a bunch of people, apparently. So you know what I'm finding is really, Duchess, you know what I'm finding is a wonderful trend with my daughter's friends is a lot of young people are finding their true love and they're getting married young again. And, my wife was 19, I was 21. My daughter, Lydia, has friends that were 17, 18. They got married at like 18, 19 years old. And, young people getting married and wanting to start families again. That's a beautiful, wonderful thing. I hope it's a trend. I hope it starts going there. She says, we're both very much looking forward to the Christmas and New Year's specials. My husband, Jonathan, is hoping that Doc and Marty might make an appearance. Doc and Marty on the Christmas special. What would that sound like? Let's see. Oh, whoa, wait a second, Doc. You mean to tell me it's a James Arnold Taylor Christmas special? Whoa, Doc. The bruise on your head. I know how you got it. You were hanging some mistletoe and you slipped off the wreath, and then you had the idea for the James Arnold Taylor Christmas special, and that is what makes time travel possible. Not really how it goes, but there you go. Great Scott, Marty. How did you know about me hanging the mistletoe? I don't know. Give us a kiss, Doc. Anyways, there's Doc and Marty. Merry Christmas to all, and to all, Happy Christmas. Oh, well said, Doc. Okay, so there you go. I hope that does your hubby well. All right, my dear. I do hope we'll get to see you both at a convention here in Australia or even Celebration Tokyo. I do not believe I will be going to Tokyo. I believe they have decided that the voice actors in the American voice actors will not be in Tokyo because we're American voice actors, and they think that it would just be better to have the actors, I guess, that do the dubbing in Japanese. That's okay. Look, and the other thing you got to remember is, look, it costs them a lot of money to put these things on, and they bring people out, and they brought me to London, and I was incredibly grateful for everybody bringing me out to Celebration London last year. That was a lot of fun, but I do not believe I'll be in Tokyo. And as far as Australia goes, there is some cons out in Australia. It would be wonderful. I've never been to the land down under. I would love to see it. There's so many beautiful, wonderful people out there, but I don't believe I'll be in Australia anytime soon, and I will not be at Star Wars Celebration Tokyo unless some miracle, Doc and Marty go into the time machine and make it possible. I don't know. So there you go. And thank you, Duchess. It's wonderful to hear from you there. All right. And then this one, this is GEVIESANTA 3631. I don't know how to say that. Givzanta? I don't know. Hey, I really enjoyed this 2-part episode. I hope you're having a wonderful time and a Merry Christmas with your family. I'm looking forward to see what shows or movies you have in the works. Love you as always. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Let's see. Toria Burrell. Toria, you are always so wonderful. You write these lovely comments here in the comments section. And I was going to share a little bit. So Toria she's a wonderful fan that kind of found my podcast, I want to say like a year or so ago, and then went through and listened, God bless you, Toria, and listened to all of them and became a fast fan of the James Arnold Taylor podcast. And I really appreciate you. And I appreciate your comments that you write in each one of the episodes here. But Toria wrote some wonderful things. So she had listened to the 2-parter with my lovely wife, Allison, and really enjoyed our story, found some similarities in hers. And you can, of course, read her full comments here if you go to my YouTube and see YouTube Talking to Myself Season 4, Episode 23, you can read the whole thing. But I was going to read some of this, because this is the stuff. Okay, this is the stuff I'm talking about when we're talking about breathing deep. We're talking about exploring God deeper, knowing that there's a God that loves us and all of these things. Everybody has a story. All of you, when I say I pray for all of you, Toria's story says, my husband and I started out with a frustrating 3-year long-distance relationship. And this was before cell phones, she says, of course, which I can relate to because we had a long-distance relationship. Not 3 years, it was like 7 months, which would have ended most relationships, but we stuck that out. And then after marrying, we had the big challenge of me moving to the U.S., she's British, and then going through a 5-year-long process of applying for my green card, complete with interrogations, interviews, lawyers, paperwork, etc. I couldn't just marry him and magically become a U.S. permanent resident. It doesn't work like that. See, that's okay. It's interesting. Then we had the challenge of both of us earning very little while living in Chicago, him being a student and me being a musician, and struggling to make ends meet, followed by a much earlier than planned pregnancy and being faced with having a baby when we could barely afford our rent. My goodness. See, everybody has struggles. See, we struggled to manage the baby in a tiny 1-bedroom apartment with no laundry facilities and no family living nearby to help or babysit. Things eventually improved financially, but then when our baby was 3 years old, we had the huge challenge of finding out he had autism. That began a whole new life of struggles for the next couple of decades. But through it all, like you, we maintained our strong focus on our faith in God, each other, unconditional love, and commitment, and we tackled everything together as a team, and we still do. I think that that's just beautiful. I wanted to read that part of Toria's story. It's just beautiful and it's wonderful. And God bless you, and God bless your child and your husband and your struggles. And there's just, life is full of those things. And yet, we breathe through them, right? We breathe and we know that God is good and life is real, and yet life can be really hard. And yet the hard parts are the parts that when we wake up, weeks, months, years later and look back on, go, but now I'm this because of that. You see? Know what you believe and why you believe it. Know more than you want to know. Why? Because when you know more than you want to know, you accept that there are things that are outside of your realm of acceptance or what you like or what you want. Those things are the things that are probably going to make you stronger and make you who you are today. Okay? So, Toria, God bless you. My love to you and your family. And thank you for letting me share some of your letter there. Okay? My good friend Nathaniel Binns, who is in Australia as well. Nathaniel writes me beautiful, wonderful letters. Nathaniel is a very dear, special fan. He came out and we met at a Comic-Con last year. And Nathaniel's a miracle. Nathaniel is a living, breathing miracle. The doctors gave him very little time when he was born because of some health issues that he struggles with. And yet here he is in his 20s. And he is alive and well and knows that there is a God that loves him and has given him grace. And Nathaniel writes me letters and he emails me often. When I met him at the Comic-Cons, I gave him my email address and I said, you stay in touch with me. And he writes me beautiful emails. And he wrote me another email earlier a few weeks ago. Nathaniel, I got that. And I'm sorry if I have not replied yet to that wonderful, beautiful email that you wrote me. I will, if I have not. I'm trying to see if I had. But anyways, he writes here, for episode 23, Nathaniel wrote, this is another great episode. I liked learning more about what jobs Allison does and the scheduling of the Comic-Con parts. That was really fascinating. And this episode is so great. I'm happy that you're still doing Comic-Cons and appearances. If you can make it, please make it to Supernova Australia or Sydney or other parts of Australia. But hopefully I can make it to one of your cons next year in 2025. Kind regards, Nathaniel. Nathaniel has talked about coming to visit some friends, probably out in the LA area next year, and maybe we'll get to see you then, Nathaniel. We'll see. I don't live in LA, but I make it out to things there, and maybe we can make that happen. But see, yes, again, another fan in Australia. I don't know. I'd love to be at like a Supernova or something. I just don't know if that'll happen. I don't know if they'll invite me. But if y'all have communications with them, ask them to invite James Arnold Taylor, and we'll see what happens. Okay? Nathaniel, thank you. Bless you, my friend. Yeah, he had written in a letter to me that this podcast helps him in talking about God. And so, all of you that put up with me talking about God a lot in this, again, I just want you to know how much I appreciate it, because what I also want you to know is those folks that believe the same way I believe really appreciate it too, because it means something to them. Nathaniel wrote me this beautiful letter, this email, saying that it's given him, hearing me talk about my faith on this podcast has given him the strength to talk more about God, regularly with others, and outside of just his relationship that he has with his dad that he talks about God with. They've always been very able to have communications about God and such, but now he's becoming more bold about his faith. And so that's why I want people to be bold about their faith, and that's why I do it. And I also really want to normalize people of any faith. We all need to be able to talk about our faith, right? What gives us breath in our lungs, what makes us feel alive and strong in our lives, what gives us hope and joy in our lives. And so I really, really appreciate all of you putting up with goofy old James Arnold Taylor. And instead of me doing a bunch of voices and talking about my life in pop culture and, my ego, you let me talk about my faith at times. So God bless you. I really appreciate it. Okay. Zelda Rose 579 says, I have loved listening to you and Allison just talk to each other. I loved when she said, that's when the grace comes in. She says, that sounds like a great Christian song title. Yeah, it does. I always learn something from listening to you, even if you're not talking with the intention to teach, if that makes sense. Yes. Would love an episode about your faith journey at some point, and I'm looking forward to your Christmas and New Year's episodes. Well, I've tried to give you a little of that in these as well. But there you go. All right. Thank you so much for that. Really Random Rant says, so glad to hear that you are doing one more year of Comic-Cons. So all of you, the majority of you are saying in this that you want me to do more Comic-Cons. That's great. Look, I'm doing one more year of them. We'll see how it goes after that. Look, in my perfect world, I would sit at home and paint all day. I don't know, maybe, or I would make movies too. I would make movies, I would podcast, I would stream, I would talk to all of you. I would spend my days encouraging others. And that's the thing, man. That's the part of me that's just like, I wish there was a way to just do it all. I wish I was a gazillionaire in some ways. I don't want wealth. I don't, want all that, but I wish I had enough to be able to just give it all away, but also to just then go out and interact with everybody, because the greatest gift I can try to give is to show everybody my belief in humanity and faith through my faith in Christ. So, I'm glad that you're all glad I'm doing more Comic-Cons, and I hope that I get to meet many of you this next year. All right. So thank you for that, Really Random Rants. And also, I'm officially a fan of Voice Tea. Thank you for the recommendation. Yeah, Voice Tea. Go to, I think it's like voicetea.com. I talked about it a couple episodes ago. Check that out. A lot of you are saying you really enjoy it. It is a great tea. And when you do, write her an email or drop her a comment or whatever and let her know that James Arnold Taylor, the voice actor, is the one that recommended it. I don't get anything for that, but I want her to know that because she lives in the same place I live. And if I ever run into her, it'd be fun if she goes, oh, hey, thanks, man. That's so cool. I got orders of Voice Tea from people because you talked about it on your podcast. Again, it's, like I say, the only reason why I ever wish for wealth and stuff is so I just wouldn't have to worry about money, so I could just do stuff for everybody, because I really enjoy that. Okay, let's see. This is APAOLO Music. Apollo Music. These last two episodes have been awesome. Loving these interviews. And if I forgot to mention it, Hidden Blessings was also a great time. Everything you do is spectacular. Oh, well, thank you. Also, my friend Miles is about to turn 20 and is a big fan of Marvel Rivals. If you by chance are still doing comment readings, which I'm doing right now, I would be very thankful if you could maybe wish him a happy birthday in Magneto's voice. And as always, God bless. Okay. Thank you so much for that at Paolo Music. I hope I pronounced that right. Yes. So, I do these voices in video games and movies and shows and stuff. And then I sign these NDAs and I'm like, I can't talk about it until it's out and it's announced that I'm in it. And it has been out. The game is out. Marvel Rivals. Do you know the video game Marvel Rivals? Well, that is me as Magneto. Once again, I've been the voice of Magneto for many games for probably, I want to say 10 or 11 years now in various games for Marvel where I've voiced Magneto. It's a great character. I love voicing Magneto. I think Magneto's even been on the podcast, hasn't he? I think he has. So you want me to wish your friend Miles, who's about to turn 20, happy birthday in Magneto's voice. Okay. Let's see. Well, hey, Magneto! I should call him. Hey, Magneto, come in here.
Hello there, James. It is I, Magneto, here to wish Miles a happy birthday on his 20th. Miles, celebrate for all mutant kind.
Okay, then he just broke through the roof. You really didn't need to do that, Magneto.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, there you go, Miles. Happy birthday from Magneto. And all of you, if you haven't checked it out, check out Marvel Rivals. Play that game. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. And I am the voice of Magneto. And then post about that and how cool you like it being me as Magneto. And let them know how much you love me as Magneto. Why? Because, that helps me. If you're like, hey, I really want to help James Arnold Taylor in some way, go to my IMDb on a regular basis, spread the word and have other people go to my IMDb. Go to IMDb and look up James Arnold Taylor. And then comment on the things in the places where you comment on the games and go, I think it's so cool. It's James Arnold Taylor's voice on there as Magneto, and it's really neat, and all of that. And that's very kind. I've seen some wonderful comments from people saying that they really enjoyed me as my performance as Magneto. I love being Magneto. It's a fun voice. And, there you go. So thank you so much. That was one of the ones, by the way, that I really wanted to make sure I read today on the Christmas episodes here. So let's see. Gokhan Eternal says, great episode with Mrs. Allison. I have greatly enjoyed them. Keep normalizing the name of Jesus. There are so many people who don't know him. God's love and kindness is so great. Amen to that, Gokhan Eternal. Thank you for that. Hey, everybody. I think it's time to drink some water. Hey, Christmas water. Huh?
It's time to drink some Christmas water.
That's good Christmas water. Where I am, it's cold. I've talked about this now. We have seasons where I live now, and I grew up in California where we never had seasons. I grew up in Santa Barbara, California, where it was always 67 degrees and beautiful and amazing. And, no need for air conditioners. You get cold somewhere in the winter, but I think it's funny. Like the coldest it would get is like, oh my gosh, it's 46 degrees. Everybody bundle up. And where I live now, it'll get down to, we weren't here when we were in Pittsburgh, which I got to get back to. Okay, I got to get back to the Pittsburgh stories. Steel Kitty Comic-Con, Steel City Comic-Con. We'll talk about that in a second, but when we were at the show, we have our little Nest cameras, and I look and check the things, and it tells the temperature. And I always check because Lydia's here and she's doing her stuff. And it was 8 degrees back where we live when we were in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh, it was cold, but it wasn't 8 degrees. It was like 20 something. So it's just funny growing up in a place where it was like the coldest it ever got was, maybe 40 degrees at the absolute coldest, to now live in a place where there's seasons and it gets, down into single digits and stuff. And I know some of you are like, you're laughing at that. You're like, hey man, we get to where it's below, and God bless you. I know most of you, it's like if you grew up with cold and snow, you're kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of over it. For me, it's exciting. It's nice. It's nice to be able to put on layers. Like I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt with another button up long sleeve shirt and then a vest and everything today. And my wife and I, we went out and went to do some little things. So I go to physical therapy because I have issues with my neck and back and shoulder and everything. And we went there and we brought some Christmas cheer. We went over and we gave some little Christmas gifts and stuff to the folks at our physical therapy office and brought them lunch and stuff. And we did that, and that's fun. And then you go places, you do things. And we sit at our little coffee shop, and we don't drink coffee, we drink tea, but we got a little tea and we got a little snack and all that. Is very Christmassy. And it's like you can wear, like we're wearing scarves and mittens and stuff. And that, see, for me, you got to understand, California kid, that's very exciting and fun. So that makes it very Christmassy for all of us here. But then you can have, like hot beverages and stuff. Oh, that's nice. Christmas. So what are your Christmas things? What are y'all going to do? You going to watch Charlie Brown Christmas? The thing is I something popped up on my Instagram the other day about Charlie Brown Christmas and how CBS was like, no, we don't want to put this out. It's kind of depressing. And they talk about, Linus talks about Jesus too much and the music is kind of weird and all that. And then they put it out and it was an instant hit. And the thing I love about it is Charles Schultz. There's a few people in life that really surpass any kind of ways that people look at things and stuff. Like everybody still loves them. Mr. Rogers and Charles Schultz, who created Peanuts. Those two guys, man, if in my life, if nothing else in my life, if I could be someone that could affect the world the way those two beautiful men of God did, without being offensive to anybody, but also being bold in their faith and just never apologizing for it, but also just trying to love everybody. how wonderful are they? When I was a little kid, I would say, I'll take over for Charles Schultz and I'll draw Peanuts when he retires. Because I have books still that I saved from when I was a little kid where I would draw my own little Charlie Brown and Snoopy comic strips and stuff, and I love all that. So the Charlie Brown Christmas is very special for us in the Taylor household, and perhaps it is in yours as well. I think that's very cool. It's lovely to have those things, the Grinch and the Rudolph and all of those things, all the fun ones. Elf, a lot of people now. The cool thing about that is Jon Favreau wanted to create something that was as classic as all of those ones that I was just talking about. And he did, I think. I think so many people love Elf now. What a gift that is to make a movie that stands the test of time and is something that every year people put on and watch. So I don't know what your Christmas movies are. I don't know if we'll watch Elf. We watched Elf last year. Sometimes we stagger them. So we'll go It's a Wonderful Life, and then the next year we'll watch Elf, and then we'll watch It's a Wonderful Life, the next one or whatever. And we watch, it's not always the most, we like it. It's not always the most appropriate, but Love Actually, I like that movie. That's always kind of a fun Christmas one for us here in the Taylor house. And we watch Charlie Brown Christmas. We watch, I'm one of those people. I'm sorry, I am. I think Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I know people say it's not, but it's a fun. My lovely wife, Allison, who you all got to know over the last couple of weeks, she's so funny because she's very reserved. She's very quiet. She's very reserved, very introverted, but she loves a couple of things. We didn't talk about these things on the show. She loves Def Leppard. She loves their music. Ever since we were young and I was a DJ and I would play Def Leppard at the rock station and all that. She loves Def Leppard, and she loves action movies. She does. She loves like Lethal Weapon. She loves all those. And those are kind of Christmassy too. And Die Hard and all that stuff. She loves all those things. So we might put those on and laugh. Those are fun. So do you have your Christmas things that you do? I'm going to make some. So Core Eats, I've talked about Core Eats before. And they make wonderful vegan, paleo, keto-friendly treats. Now, we use eggs with it, so it's not vegan because we use eggs, but it is keto and paleo and all that. And Corey, the owner of Core Eats, and she's wonderful. Go to coreeats.com, check out their stuff. And again, if you do and you buy something from them, put in the code at sign out, JAT, and you will get 20% off your first purchase. That's pretty cool. So they have recipes for like gingerbread cookies and stuff. So we're going to make like some little gingerbread things and stuff that are still kind of keto and paleo and healthy and all of that jazz for the Taylor household. So we'll have something at least to snack on. But it's a shame. My daughter is working on Christmas Eve and on Christmas. So she works into the evening. So we won't really get to, this is going to be kind of like the first Christmas where we're not really getting to do too much together like that. We did that with Thanksgiving as well, but that's okay. It's okay. We'll still enjoy some holiday cheer and we'll have a good time. I don't have any like wonderful, again, I was so blown away by what I did on the one Christmas special for y'all. I could be fun and funny and do a bunch of voices here now, but I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not in the mood, but I'm kind of just more reflective this year. I'm enjoying the Christmas season. I'm feeling very blessed that the Lord has blessed me with the ability to do these podcasts for you. I hope you all enjoy it. I'm blessed that you all seem to enjoy it. I thank you for all of your wonderful comments and stuff. I wanted to read some of the comments from the last ones. I mean, I can see if there's any. This is okay. So this was the week before that. This was for episode 22 of this season. I'm going to read some of the comments on YouTube from there. This one is awesome7818 says, I never comment on these, but I've been a long-time listener. Just wanted to thank you for the wonderful podcasts as they've always been such a joy to listen to. God bless you and your family. Thank you, awesome7818. You're awesome. Okay, that was very nice. This one's very nice. This is Dark Canucks 08 or 09 rather. Dark KNUX 09. Dark Nukes. It's probably Nukes. The K silent, right? Says, your voice is honestly so unique. It just has such positivity and happiness to it. Oh, I'm honestly super impressed by your vocal range too. LOL, being able to go from deep to mid to high pitch is really cool. Well, thank you so much, Dark Nukes 09. Dark Nukes, I hope I'm saying that right. Or Canucks. Or Canucks. Maybe it's Canucks. I don't know. That's, the thing about my voice, it is a weird thing. I listen to it on things like, well, we were talking about Magneto, and
Magneto is right there. And it's this wonderful, rich, British voice.
I just have fun doing voices. I don't know where I got these well, I guess I got them genetically from the man that was my father, who I never knew. I've never heard his voice. I met him once when I was 7 years old, but I didn't know he was my father. I didn't find out he was my father until I was 42 years old, which is a very long story, which I've never really gotten into on it. I'm going to explain. A lot of folks listen to this show with their kids. And I always say, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. I try to make this a family show. And there's some things in my life that, again, it's not that it's adult. It's just more mature content, like telling the story of how I found out who my father was and the whole thing. That's a big, deep, a very dramatic story that happened to me. And I'm writing about it. I'd love to make a movie about it all and my life story someday, because I just feel so blessed to be who I am and to have the life that I have. And I'm so blessed to have the vocal range that I do. My real father worked in radio, and he hosted TV shows and had radio programs and did all of that. And he owned an advertising agency, and he did what I do for a living. And that's the strangest, wildest punchline to the story of me finding out at 42 years old who my father was. And so, like I say, I met him once when I was 7, very briefly. I remember that, but I don't remember what he sounded like all that much. I'm very curious to see. It's a shame. I tried reaching out to his family, and sadly, they were not receptive. Look, I wasn't looking for anything from him. I just wanted to know some medical things and stuff. Because, so now it's what's interesting about me finding out at the age of 42, I'm 55 now, I've known for, quite a while, that the man I grew up thinking was my father my whole life was not my father. That what's interesting about that is it's kind of like with Lydia. It gave me something in common with our daughter Lydia, because my daughter Lydia is, of course, adopted. She was found in a marketplace at 10 days old in China, and then brought to the orphanage, and then we adopted her, and God bless us all, able to bring her home here. And she's now, of course, a naturalized citizen of the United States of America. When she touched the soil, that she became a naturalized citizen as our daughter. And we are so blessed to have her. But she will never know her biological parents. She'll never know. I mean, it'd be a needle in a haystack type of thing, as the saying goes. It would be near impossible. And so she'll never know them. She'll never know their voices or their faces or any of that, or her medical background. And so it's kind of the same for me with half of my DNA. I don't know, but I assume a lot of my vocal things and stuff I got from him, obviously, because he did what I do for a living, and the desires I have. It's a strange thing to grow up loving voices and to love radio, and to get into radio at 17 years old and all of that stuff. And then to find out that the man that was my father, it was kind of in my DNA. And I'm guessing, and I know he was about my size too. I've tracked down some photos. I found out where he went to college, and I found some pictures of him when he was younger in college and all. And the funny thing is we look just alike, and he appears to be about my height. So it's very strange. My whole life growing up with people that I don't really look a lot like. My brother and sister and I, we just don't look that much alike. And so it makes sense because we don't have the same father. And my brother is 6'2" or 3, and my sister's 5'10", and I'm 5'4", and hi, I do voices, So it's fascinating. But I imagine I'm going off on a real tangent here about my vocal range. I have to imagine now my mom has a pretty good vocal range, and so I'm sure, but the combination of the two of them is how I have this ability. But I've always had this ability to go down real deep and make it believable. I think that one of the things that's fascinating about voiceover and what you do with your voice and the beautiful thing about it, but it takes practice, man. There's a lot of learning and a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom that needs to kind of come into play to kind of figure out what to do with your voice and how to act with it in the right way. You may have a naturally, people go like, oh, I've got this great voice and hello, Mr. Announcer guy. But if you don't know what to do with it, so you need to learn what to do with those vocal ranges. If you have a really high voice, you need to be able to learn what to do with it. So it's from years and years and years, literally decades, almost 4 decades of me just messing around on microphones, listening to myself, studying my voice, studying other people's voices and going, how do I read this in a way? How do I talk in a way that if it was just my regular voice, that it's not going to sound, you don't want it to sound put on, right?
So if I do, it's all coming up next on Fox.
I mean, obviously that's a character voice, but you don't want to think that the guy that does that, his natural voice is this. Like, yeah. And so it's a real blessing. It's the grace of God. It is all a gift from Jesus Christ. I'm so grateful. Thank you, Lord, for the voice and the vocal cords you've given me. I've looked at my vocal cords before. Every year or so, I have a camera put up my nose and down my throat, and they look at my vocal cords and they check them out, make sure that they're doing okay. There's no nodules or anything. And I do a lot of deep breathing exercises. I use this thing called a breather fit. I've talked about it on the show before. There's spirometers for your lungs. Whatever you can do to increase your lung capacity, to make your lungs strong, that's going to help you with, if you're somebody that's like, I can get down deeper. You have to be able to maintain that deeper voice. You need to be able to talk in that voice and just kind of say anything in it and have people believe or buy that that is actually what your real voice sounds like. So that's the thing. Like this is James, if I was actually grown up, right? If I wasn't 5'4", if I was as big as my brother or something, and I had like a regular voice of somebody that's 55 years old, it might be around here. This might be the range of my voice. But my regular voice is up here, right? So, but I have the ability to bring it down here. And then the whole thing about it is I have to be able to talk in this voice no matter what and just make it sound natural, right? So whatever you're doing, if you're somebody that's into voices and such, just practice. The other thing is know your range. It's like I always say, know what you believe and why you believe it. Know your vocal range and don't try to exceed it. You can make it bigger, deeper, higher, lower, whatever, from practice and control, but you have to work on it the right way. Breathing exercises, singing exercises, work with a vocal coach. So many people can hurt themselves, and they could permanently hurt their voice trying to talk down in other places that they shouldn't, or trying to talk up higher than they should. You could really hurt your vocal cords, damage them if you don't know what you're doing. So I have spent, basically my lifetime just playing with those vocal cords and the range and the breathing and the stuff. And when I'm in the shower, I do all my vocal exercises. I do all these things. And it's so funny. My daughter's bedroom is above our bedroom. So she hears me in the mornings doing my vocal exercises. And when she was a baby, we would be in the car. And, I've been doing Fox now for so many years. I've been the voice of Fox Animation Domination on Sundays. And I would be driving to sessions, or we'd be driving somewhere, and they would call and go, we need James. And so I'd have to drive into Fox, or I would have to drive home. And I would do my vocal warm-ups in the car. And I would do these, and up and down on these scales and all of this stuff. And Lydia, when she was a baby, she'd be sitting in her little car seat in the back of the car, and she'd be going, and she'd be following with me. It is fantastic. So now when she hears them, sometimes I'll stop doing them, and then I'll hear her up in her room going, doing it. It's very cute. All right. Anyways, thank you for that. Let's go back to some of these comments. I'm off on tangents today, but it's the Christmas special, right? You're just spending a little Christmas time before what do you got? Like 2 days before Christmas? Oh my goodness. Bundle up, have your little eggnog and your cocoa and all the things. And I hope you all have a blessed, wonderful Christmas. I hope this is fun in some way, just hearing me tell silly stories and such. Nathaniel J. Ketcher says, great episode, James. You and your wife have a better love story than anything Hollywood has put out. Can't wait for part 2. Oh, that's very nice. And I hope you all enjoyed part 2. Let's see. This is Spidey Seth says, I like this episode. ! I like that. Well, thank you. You and your wife have a really deep relationship. As a single Christian guy, I always appreciate seeing a strong marriage between two believers who are united under the one true God who loves us all. Amen to that. Also, I like the sarcasm that your wife brings to the episode too. Me too. I got to tell you. So both episodes have been out now, and we would listen to them. I said to Allison, do you want to hear yourself? And she's like, yeah, I'll take a listen. So we've been driving around doing stuff. So yesterday we were in the car driving, and we listened to part 2 because part 2 came out. And she's so funny. She goes, I'm funny. So, yeah, I'm so glad that you all enjoyed this. I love this episode. Spirit of Star Wars says, thanks for continuing the JATcast. It's honestly my favorite podcast ever. Thank you all so much. Hey, this podcast is not possible without all of you. I would love to have it be a regular thing, as I say all the time. And I'm trying to figure out ways. I've been doing more camera tests in my room, and I'm hoping that by the new year, I will have some live streams out and we'll do some more things. But I just love trying to kind of be a comfort. Like somebody said, my voice is comforting to you. Look, this is what I am. I've gotten older now in my career. It's really wild. I get noticed. I get recognized. We were at a place yesterday. People are you James Arnold Taylor? People stop me and we do selfies, and it's so much fun. And I love all of it. It's like why I've said it a couple times in this episode. It's like I wish I had all the money in the world so I wouldn't have to do anything except give out to you all my life and my entertaining and doing stuff. Because what I would do, what I mean by that is I would make movies that cost millions of dollars to make. Like, because I have so many scripts I've written and so many things in my head, so many stories I'd love to tell, but I just don't have the money to make them all. If I had all the money in the world, I'd just make them and I'd put them out for free for y'all to see them. Just because I just want to entertain you. I enjoy being able to bless other people because this is the gift that God has given me. And I'm just humbled and grateful for the ability to do it. So there you go. All right. I should start to wrap this episode up. Okay. Jeeves Santa. Yeah, we talked about, okay, you had one of the other ones. That was the most amazing episode I've ever listened to. James, you and your wife, Allison, are absolutely amazing together. Your love story has really made my day. I really hope you both have a blessed day. Thank you so much. Christopher Lee Jackson says, hello, Sister Allison. Welcome. Thank you for this, Brother Jat. Well, thank you so much, Chris. I love that. Thank you. Oh, and then you also, Jeeves Santa 3631. I hope I'm saying that right. Am I? GEVIESANTA 3631 says, James, as someone who is an introvert myself, I find it very respectful and healthy that you and your wife were able to work things out together with what you both like to do as a couple. Yeah, we're opposites and yet it works really well. I'm very happy for both of you. It's just unfortunate that there are not that many happy or healthy couples who are entirely faithful nowadays. I genuinely believe that your love story with Allison is so much more sweeter than anything Hollywood puts out today. Oh, well, thank you. I wouldn't be surprised if people working in the more independent productions of the entertainment industry had much more happier and healthier love stories. Well, you know what I find to be, thank you for that, by the way, Jeeves Santa 3631, I hope I'm saying that okay, is that, where we've moved now, we live in a more of a small town, and but they make a lot of these Great American Family Channel movies out here, they make Hallmark movies out here and stuff, and in a town called Franklin, Tennessee out there. And there seems to be, a lot of the folks that I deal with, that I make movies with and such, are just regular folks. And what I love to see is that Hollywood is still kind of Hollywood. I don't love to see that, but that there are things being made by other people now. And I was blessed to make a movie myself. Look, I had a story. I could tell it. I had the very small budget to tell a story, and I made my movie Hidden Blessings. And that's out there. And so be inspired, everybody. This Christmas season, be inspired. I really hope that you all are, and I hope that you all have a wonderful holiday season. I've just been I'm kind of everywhere on this episode. It's not like it's some fantastic, wonderful Christmas special episode, but I just wanted to share with y'all some Christmas joy and some stories and read some of your comments and just spend some time with you. So it's my prayer now for you all that you have a blessed Christmas time, that the Lord blesses you and keeps you. And if you don't know him, that you'd reach out to him maybe this holiday season, and you might say, James believes in you, God. I'm going to give it a shot. Jesus, if you're real, I'm going to open that door that you're knocking on, and I just accept that I've not gotten it right. I'm a sinner saved by your grace. If I accept that grace and I accept your grace, and let him in and, see what happens. Life is a beautiful thing. God has given us wonderful gifts, and there is so much to learn and grow from. And I just hope that you have a beautiful, wonderful Christmas season. And I pray that you're blessed and that you're warm and healthy and cozy this Christmas season, and that the glow of the Christmas tree blesses you. Or if you celebrate Hanukkah, that the glow of the menorah is wonderful for you, and all of that. And I just thank you all for being there and listening to the show. The greatest Christmas gift I get is all of you tuning into my silly little show and hearing me do silly little things. And look, I'll try for the New Year's one. I'll try to do I'll call some of the characters. I talked about it first. Oh, we should call some of my characters and stuff. It takes a lot of energy to do the voices. And I just got kind of in a Christmas mood here, reading your comments and telling stories. And so I just wanted to just kind of spend some time with you all before Christmas. So I hope you all have a blessed, wonderful Christmas. It's in a couple of days. I can't wait. And I hope Santa gets you everything you want and you get all of the beautiful, wonderful things. And it's about love and joy and peace and beautiful things for you all, okay? So Merry Christmas to everybody. And hey, Mr. Announcer Guy, come in and do that legal mumbo jumbo.
Talking to Myself, the James Arnold Taylor Podcast is a production of Yumigo Inc., recorded at JAT Studios. Engineered, written, recorded, and produced by, you guessed it, James Arnold Taylor. All voices are parody and should be construed as entertainment only. All music and sound effects used with permissions and licenses through Backtracks, Digital Juice, Production Tracks, and Partners in Rhyme. James Arnold Taylor's Talking to Myself, the podcast. Copyright 2024, all rights reserved.
Merry Christmas, everyone. God bless us all, everybody. And we will be back for a New Year's special this next week. And then that will wrap up the season of the James Arnold Taylor Podcast. We will come back for season 5 shortly thereafter. And it's going to be a busy year coming up. And boy, but I'm going to have more for you, more opportunities for y'all to communicate with me. But Merry Christmas, ho, 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 and a happy New Year. We'll talk soon. Goodbye.